Hi, welcome back to our crazy sedans. When we last left this story, you saw that we'd done a 1,000-mile road trip in these crazy old sedans, and they worked. They ran. There were no real problems. I mean, no new problems. There were plenty of problems. So since we've already done the big road trip we promised you all we would take, where are we going? What are we doing? We're going to Bonneville. We're going to run the Salt Flats.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
If you're not familiar or you haven't paid attention until just now, the Bonneville Salt Flats is a former lake bed that people do high-speed runs on. In fact, we're a couple weeks from the very famous Bonneville Speed Week that happens out here in Utah every year. We thought we'd take these old cars out and see how fast we can get them to go. Now, that's different than how fast they can go.
Whether or not they can do the actual top speed, and quite frankly, I don't think they will, but we need to prove that these two sedans can still go as fast as advertised. They were designed to be high-speed luxury tourers, almost GT cars, four-door GT cars. And the question is, can they still do that?
This car is made for the Autobahn. In fact, above about 110, you really get the sense this thing could go really fast for a long time. That's what it was designed for. But we don't have Autobahn. The only place we can go really unrestricted is the Salt Flats. But again, this and the Maserati were not really made for the Salt Flats.
The stated top speed of the QP5 is 171 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. I don't think we'll get anywhere close to that, to be honest. I'll be excited if we hit 130. Because out in the Salt Flats, there's all kinds of stories. It depends on the surface conditions, it depends on the weather, if it's wet, if you break through, but I have no idea what the texture is going to be like.
By and large, when we finished that road trip, we were pleasantly surprised by these old sedans. They've done very, very well. Since driving those then, both of these cars have decided to go just a little bit nuts. And now we have a lot of new gremlins to deal with. When I first got this car, it was just this side of dead. Both batteries needed to be replaced. Now, if the primary battery that starts the car won't work, you turn the key to the right and it's dead, then you can turn the key to the left, wake up the other battery and say, hey, help me out, and it'll kick off the car. But then the car kind of stumbles like a wounded animal. It doesn't really wake up right. After the road trip, it was running fine, and then one day it just decided to act dead. I quickly realized this needs a new battery. So I put a new one in, and guess what? It became a brand new car again. The air suspension was suddenly much, much better. The air conditioning actually worked again. Since then, of course, the air conditioning has lost its mind again. I don't actually know what it's doing. In spite of the fact this is supposed to be this draftless HVAC system, it's gone insane. It's about a 2-hour drive from where we are to the Bonneville Salt Flats. You'd think we'd go out there all the time. The truth is, I haven't had a car I've really wanted to take out there. Luckily, this car does have all-wheel drive, which I think sets it up a little bit better than the Maserati, which, by the way, has also lost its mind.
The rear lights over the seats decided to just stay on, so it drained the battery unbeknownst to me. Well, we jumped it, and in the Maserati manual it says, be careful about jumping your Maserati because it could screw up the electrical system. Not could. It did. First of all, let's start with the headlights. You turn it to the right to the parking light, that's when they actually turn off, because in the center setting, that's when the headlights are on. So it's almost reversed. The fuel gauge is off. I cannot close and lock the doors with the fob. The rear trunk release doesn't work. I'm still discovering new things that don't work as they should. The instrument panel freaks out and tells me, don't just go to the dealer. There's been a burglary attempted to, a break-in. Then it thinks the two side doors here on the right side of the car and the trunk are constantly open. It shows me doors open. Even though we've slammed them, they are indeed closed, and the car still thinks the doors are open. I'm hoping the temp gauge is still fine. It's pegged on 195, and I'm hoping that we're good there. The tach reads fine, the speedo reads fine, but all the brake lights and the turn signals in the rear are out. Good news, the air conditioner works. She's still running. The engine is still strong. It still runs fine. It's very smooth and still feels really fast. And I still love the driving dynamics. I was waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for catastrophic failure. Wait until tomorrow, baby. Then you can just let go completely. You can just let it all go, but not right now. Just keep it going, keep it all together. We're good.
I have visions of one of these bogged down in the salt, refusing to start and unable to move. We may be towing something home. Man, I hope not. But the reason I'm most excited, honestly, is to get those really cool, what are those cars doing here photographs. Because when the Italians were making the Maserati Quattroporte, nobody even thought of the Bonneville Salt Flats. And when the Germans were making this Volkswagen Phaeton, they were only thinking about the Autobahn. The fact that some stupid American would take one of these cars when it was broken down and just go, oh, that's the Salt Flats, let's see what she'll do. That was not on the list of things to worry about.
All right, Bonneville Speedway, half mile, exit 4. This is exciting. Last chance gas, literally. There is nothing else.
When I bought this car, shortly thereafter, there's a button on the door that actually is supposed to remotely open the trunk, and that stopped working. It wasn't the end of the world, except it concerned me about the fact that it's sitting next to a vital button, the only place on the car to pop the fuel filler. And I was worried that if the trunk release went out, was that going to go out? It didn't go out. It didn't go out for almost a year. It didn't go out during the road trip when I was really worried about it. It's died since. Now, that button doesn't work at all. When I want to fill the car with gas, I have to open the trunk. Thank God that still opens. I have to take a panel off the side of the trunk. I have to reach in with a screwdriver, find the plunger that opens that door, push the plunger down to pop the fuel release door. Every time I fill it with gas. Now, I have heard that that has to do with condensation in the electrical panel down here. It's corrosion. You can take the panel out. You can fix it. I'm not going to do any of that. This car has one big adventure left, and then I'm going to give it away to some lucky one of you.
We've filled up at the Sinclair on our way to Bonneville Speedway, and we're on the road going to the Speedway. It says door open, but the door's really not. And it says go to dealer, but, you know, there's not really a dealer out by the Bonneville Salt Flats, so not gonna happen. Look at this.
Yep, Land's End.
Hang on, let me put my car in Salt Flats mode. Here we go. Onto the salt.
What I like about this already is the fact that you would not believe the looks we're getting from people that cannot believe we are driving these cars onto the Salt Flats, which is exactly why we're here, because we shouldn't be here, which is why it's fun.
I still feel like I've got some grip, but things look wet. I can see there's wet tires on the Jeep. Wow. Maserati on the salt. Phaeton on the salt.
All right, guys, I've decided I'm officially excited now.
There's nothing out here.
This is brilliant. I love it. When you buy your $5,000 Volkswagen Phaeton, come to the Bonneville Salt Flats. That's really what we've learned.
It's meeting my expectations for flat and rough and weird and barren.
It's so epic.
See this kind of black looking cone off to the right? I'm pretty sure that's one of the track cones.
Cool. All right. We'll use that as reference. I think we just set up right here. What is this place? It's like a moonscape, except it's gooey. But now that we're here, I am awfully excited. We're here. We're sweating through our clothes. It is well over 100 degrees on the Salt Flats.
What we've done is set up a 3-mile course with our own flags at the very beginning and at the very end now, which kind of marks it off, but it's just to kind of get a feel for how long 3 miles is, get up to speed, and see how these cars do on this weird, slushy, nasty, crazy surface.
It is sticky and awful and awesome all at the same time. Okay, because we're stupid, because it's funny, and on the off chance something ridiculous happens. That's right. We're doing the helmets again. I'm gonna try to not do the thing that annoys me, which is just sit here and call out speed numbers. I'm gonna try to actually kind of tell you what's going on and what it feels like. The whole thing is nuts. That's the big takeaway. Let's see how this goes. And this air conditioner on this time I started the car doesn't want to work, so that's fun. Okay, so we're almost up to 80 again. Imagine doing a washboarded road that you normally do at about 30. It's that kind of sensation, but you look down and realize I'm going an awful lot faster than that. I'm giving that Volkswagen air suspension a workout. I'm looking for my 3-mile flags. I can't see them yet. I literally cannot see the flags. I don't know where they are. That's 100. There's a 1 mile marker right there. Okay, I got 3 miles to work with total. Still got my foot in it. I just had a gear shift. Okay, that's encouraging and terrifying all at once. You're looking for all the places way out there that people have chunked this up to not hit those. I don't see our flags yet, but I see another mile marker. Ooh, a little bit of slippage. 120. Uh-oh, there's a cut in the sand. Okay, I'm through it. Good. All-wheel drive's helping me. Looking for flags. Still don't see them. It's genuinely slidey. All four wheels may be working, but I can genuinely feel slide. Still can't see our flags. 3 miles down. There they are. There they are. All right, I'm off it. I'm coasting out. I just broke 130 on first run. Well, that's an experience. That have a little trouble speaking clearly because there were some moments of fear there. It honestly, it starts to have an icy kind of feel to it. Not like it's full ice, but like when the road gets a little slick, lots of rain or a little bit of ice, it starts to feel a little bit like that, where you just get greasy. Whew, that was fun. Need to do more. All right, guys, that was a run. I hit just over 130. Can you hear me? They can't even hear me. I really don't want to drive one-handed so I can talk on the radio. That was not thought out well. Okay, so here's our beginning of our 3 mile stretch. These are our beginning markers. I'm coming at them already at about 50. Let's see if we can break 130 on the way back. Headed back, headed back. Here I come, here I come, here I come. That's already 80, pushing 90. Here we go. Oh, wait, oh, there's some bumps. There's some cuts. Okay, this way feels easier to see. The air conditioner has stopped working. Yeah, it doesn't know what to do right now, so I'm just gonna, besides the fact that I'm sweating anyway, I'm sweating even more now. Okay, there's a gear change. It's thundering now. Here we go. Yikes. Here's a cut. Take it. Oh. 130, a lot easier. I'll upshift it again. There's the midpoint marker. Come on, give me more, give me more. Come on, big girl. Come on, 130. Actually 135, pushing 140. I've got it absolutely floorboarded. Whoa, I'm offline. Gotta go left. That's a slow correction, easy. 135, maybe all she has. That's borderline terrifying. There's an odd smell that's happened. I should ease off. That was fully floorboarded on the way back. 135 is all I've seen so far. I'm going to try to get a little more out of it. I mean, I've got 3 miles. It's going to take a bit of a run up, I think, to get it back to higher than that, because there's a lot of constant vibration. That the entire car is bouncing, and it's bouncing and sliding. That was great. And just that much scary. I had on a helmet. What could go wrong, right? There's an odd smell in here. I don't think the Volkswagen liked that very much. The Phaeton is now officially unhappy.
First run in the Mazda. This is exciting. It's a rolling start here at Everyday Driver Speed Week. Just ease up to it. The surface is actually really rough. During Bonneville Speed Week, they actually grade the surface. But right now, the surface is pretty loose. But let's see what she's got in her. All the warning lights are still there, of course. Okay, that's a comfortable 100. Car is feeling good. I'm hoping this middle section we found will be a little bit smoother, and I'm looking for my flags. Sixth gear, and that's all I've got. And I don't know what this is. Oh, that's where somebody did burnouts. She's starting to get squirrely. Okay, that's 135 right there, 135. Let's see if she's got more in her. That's 140. This section of course gets a little bit rougher through here. I'm backed off to 130. Oh yeah, through the traps at a genuine 130. 130 miles an hour, and the dome lights are still on. Oh yeah, it gets really rough out here. Really rough. Wow, that's nuts. I've been so curious about this texture, and it is rough and strange at that speed. At even faster, you're definitely going to want a smoother surface. Through the flags at this end, let's see what she'll do. That's 7,000, and let's give her the beans. Wow, this Maserati is awesome. Back to 130. We know that feels comfortable. It is rough, but it's manageable. We'll see if we can get a 140 out of her. Can we do that? Can Can we do that? Okay, we've got a 140. That's 145. Wow. Boy, the speed is lessened out here. And can I touch 150? Can I even do it? Yes, I can. We're hanging out at 150, people. That is respectable. 155. Okay. I didn't think the suspension would take it. Wow. Backing off through the flags. This is brilliant. Maserati. Wow, that was rougher than I thought, but it tracked smoother than I thought. Okay, that was great. I didn't think that was possible. Genuine 155, and it got more stable the faster I went. There were rough patches, and where you could see people did donuts and burnouts, that was a little sketchy. But otherwise, 155 out of this thing.
Of course, as we've done with all of these, we felt like it was necessary for each of us to drive each other's cars so we can spread out the disaster. It thinks the right rear door is open, which is another one of the new Maserati faults. It just thinks the right rear door is open. It's not. It's been closed for quite some time, but the Maserati's convinced that the right rear door is open. I'm hitting my head even worse than I was in the Phaeton. All right. This builds speed a lot faster. Of course, it is 1,000 pounds lighter than the Phaeton, and it has almost 100 more horsepower, so it should build faster. And I'm just now reaching 100, but it feels so much faster than the Phaeton did. There's a lot of dance because of the rear wheels doing all the power, and the fronts they're practically skiing right now. He did 155 in this car? He's a madman. Wow. The crosswind is brutal, and I'm just dancing constantly. The front wheels are skating across this surface. I'm at 125, and it feels much greasier than the Phaeton ever did at any speed. Man, if I lost it right now, though, there wouldn't be any getting it back. I'm drifting right now. I'm drifting at 135 miles an hour, sliding sideways. That is creepy. That's a lot of wind and a lot of distraction. Wow. Come on, 140. Come on, come on, come on, come on. That was about 138. I didn't hit Paul's speeds, but man, over 120 in that wind. Honestly, you know what it's closest to is driving a snowmobile. It felt a lot like that float that you get in a snowmobile. Very much that feel. All right, back down to 50, which feels like I'm walking. This is the tailwind direction. It should be a little better, but I'm not certain. Coming up on our flags for reference, I'm already at 80. These are our opening flags of our 3-mile run right here. 100 miles an hour, daily triple all over the place in this. 110 already. All right, I'm working for it. I gotta get left. I'm getting pushed right. There's 145. This is the better direction for sure. I'm out of gears. I'm in 6th. It is a snowmobile at top speed in a snowmobile. Steering makes very little difference, but at the same time you're trying to hold it to keep it from spearing you off at something weird. 160. 160. Holy shit. Come on, girl. 165 at redline. 165. I looked down. I was shocked to hit that speed. That's the difference with the tailwind. It was still a fight. But the Maserati survived. Who knew? All right, Paul, you're up in the Phaeton.
This car just slowly gets up to speed, and I'm imagining that it will be the far more stable of the two. I'm fighting a massive headwind right now, I can tell. The stability is impressive. You can see our tracks, which is nice. I've got a reference point now. This is good. That's a solid 110, but I've got my foot buried, and it just feels like it's achingly slow to get up to speed. I can see my finish line up here. It won't even... I'm at 128. Boy, that's crazy. But yeah, it feels stable even over the more rough stuff that the Maserati wasn't liking. Oh, that's feeling crazy. I've got it buried past the finish line. And yeah, this gets sketchy out here. Oh. I'm curious what the tailwind's going to feel like and what the stability on this car is going to be like. Because Todd couldn't get more than 135 out of this on the way back. Oh, there's something. There's a chunk of salt in the wheel. I can tell. Come on. Spit it out. Spit it out. Okay, it got smoother and quieter on my way back. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm feeling the crosswind. The pedal is floorboarded. There's 130. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. I can definitely tell the stability on this car far exceeds the Maserati. Okay, 135. Come on. Nope. Now that's 135. Shoot. I can't get more than 135 out of it with a tailwind. I'm floored. That's amazing. But nevertheless, that was awesome.
So the big surprise so far is honestly the Phaeton has not done as well as I hoped it would. I mean, both Paul and I couldn't break 140. We'll see what happens this pass. The wind has picked up to the point that we can't even fly the drone. It's gotten really, really brutal out here wind-wise. So we figured for the grand finale, we both drove each other's cars. The best way to do a grand finale was to go together, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I've got it floorboarded and the Maserati's walking away.
That's 120. And I'm skating. I am skating. This car's got some power. That's genuinely 130.
It's just walked away. That's incredible.
Yeah, she's getting really skittish into this headwind.
This is where I should have had the W12. Because now, I mean, that's just insane.
Skating every which direction. Oh yeah. I see my finish line. I see my finish line.
$130 on the money, can't get more. I don't know that the suspension on a Phaeton has ever been worked as hard as that was just there. Let's hope it's not go to shop suspension fault, because I'm waiting on that message anytime.
Boy, this car's just doing this right into the headwind. It's just skating. It still thinks the door is open, and I don't have any headlights or taillights, but it's still fast. It's still awesome.
But honestly, I wouldn't bring most cars out here. You've got to kind of hate it to bring it out here. Starting to wonder if you should give me a head start.
You can have a head start. You're more than welcome to it.
It's not gonna matter, but anyway.
Yeah, I felt, significant weight over there and significant stability, which was good, and it could take more speed, but it wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah, agreed. I think I kept joking that I need the W12 now.
You need to upgrade to get the speed out of that thing. First gear. It's all you. I'll give you a head start.
Here we go.
I mean, a little bit of a head start. Not a huge head start. All right, he's up there. Oh, she's breaking traction in the rear. I knew it. I was wondering about that.
I'm already up to 90, but I see him coming up in the mirror. There's little chance I'll still win this.
Fifth gear, solid 100. And now we can work on the Volkswagen.
That Maserati's quick.
Wow.
He's gone. I am put to the floor, desperate for more speed. Can't make it happen. This has got nothing else. 135 is all it's got.
And now that's a genuine 160. Wow, I'm so impressed with this car. That is 165, and she's touching redline. She is at redline 165. Brilliant.
Yeah, that apparently is all she's going to get today, 135. That's a bummer. That's not Autobahn speed, 135? Granted, this is also not the Autobahn.
It was smooth and comfortable. Things dried out. I had the tailwind to help me.
I've definitely picked up some salt in a wheel. This is really, really bad now. The balance is awful. Yikes.
There's no salt on your car anywhere.
Yeah, you either. Where's my 155? Why does that not exist in that car? This will do 165. The German bomber for the Autobahn won't break 135. I'm disappointed. It's fantastic out here, but I'm still disappointed.
That's right. Maserati for the win. Pegged at redline 165. I cannot believe we got that much out of it. That's what you're buying. That's the engineering. I mean, forget about the electrics and all that weird stuff. Just forget about that.
We survived. The salt didn't kill us. tried to kill the cars, but I think they're okay. I'm disappointed by the fact that this Phaeton didn't do better. However, now we have a totally different problem. I have a violent shake in this car now, and it is because of salt getting in the wheels and it being incredibly imbalanced, and I am bouncing down the road. The back half of the car is almost uncontrollable in a corner. Thank God we're going straight, and hopefully some of it'll shake loose. I really need a heavy wash for this car to get it out of there, but there's a larger problem, and that is the Maserati has no lights of any kind, so we have to actually make a mad dash back to town before it gets too dark for us to drive. This is what madness is going on with these cars.
I'm amazed by this experience. Yeah, I want to come back already. This is very strange.
So this is the fun I'm having. I'm actually running the rumble strips down the side of the car on purpose. I'm running those rumble strips on purpose in an effort to clean out the undercarriage of the car and shake stuff loose. Honestly, it might not come loose until I get the chance to put a power washer to it.
There you go.
The vibration in the Phaeton got so bad that it was almost impossible to drive. It would dance in the lanes in a way that was really, frankly, dangerous. So we pulled off. We got out a flag that we used earlier. We used the back of the flag to carve salt off the rear wheels. Meanwhile, while I was doing that, Paul somehow figured out how to get his headlights to fire. So now he has headlights, but still no tail lights. So are we better? I'm not sure, but this is the downside to the fun we had on the Salt Flats, is now it feels like we've punished these cars and they are punishing us in return. On the upside, one of you is going to get a free car. Is that a good thing? I don't know. I haven't decided.
We're nearly done with our big sedan challenge. Join us next time when we actually add up how much they really cost us. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.